For those that are tuning in right now, JB is going to go ahead and pull it on the screen right here. We are on a journey to get 10,000 followers, so we advise you and ask you to help us. So look at that, Uce.
I guess it's been a while. I haven't been in a
Yeah,
while.
yeah.
So, okay. Yeah,
You know,
man.
when the stocks fell, Uce, it felt like that you fell too, bro. But it's a
Well,
good thing to see that
we
you're
all
still
fell.
alive. Yeah.
Well, we all fell. But it's like I've been saying, what would you do when everything fails, right? What would you do?
What? Buy. You gonna keep buying, right? What are you gonna do, Uce?
Well, like the last, if you go back to our podcast, the last recent couple podcasts, you just
Yeah.
DCA, dollar cost average. You keep buying when it's low. It's cheaper.
Okay.
Like we always talk about, like you go to the mall, right? You want to look at all the merchandise, you know, when do you want to buy it? If it's like the regular price or cheaper discount like price. So obviously we want to buy in a discount. So that's how I see it. If everything drops, you buy it on a discount. That's how you do it.
Okay. Well, why don't you go down to if you scroll down to the homepage that you're on?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and scroll down.
Okay.
Or scroll up. Right there. Pause right there real quick. If you go a little bit down.
Yeah.
You see, guys, ladies and gentlemen, when you're tuning in, you're wondering why this great content that we have for the YOs. You know, if you need to buy yourself a merch like how the YOs has merch right here, we have affiliated links for you guys, man. We have Sprintify or Sprintful or Printy. We have that's where you click on that link and you get yourself a on-demand store. That link right there will help push the YOs content, but with some commission. So Opus Clip is where you see all the you see all that Opus Clip. That's where you can click that button right there, ladies and gentlemen, and then
Right
you
here.
can build yourself short clips. Yep.
There you
That's
go.
where all the YOs short clips come from every platform, man.
Click that
Then you got
button.
Riverside
Riverside.
FM.
Riverside
Riverside is
FM.
what we're on right now. Yeah, there you go. Me and Jay Bids on Riverside FM right now. And then when you scroll a little bit more down, you see the YOs podcast.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. Support the YOs podcast.
There you go. Go ahead and click on the YouTube link. The
Okay.
YouTube icon, I meant. It's on the
All
bottom.
right.
There we go.
There you go. So
Let's see what we got here. Boom.
dang. Okay.
Y'all see that, followers, ladies and gentlemen? We're at 275. So shout
Subscribe.
out to everybody that has
Okay.
subscribed.
Well, I need to sign in.
No, you're good. You're good right now. This
Okay.
is just for the entertainment.
Okay.
Yeah. But first of all, go ahead and scroll down to the playlist.
Hey.
Right there on the yeah, you see that?
Junior. Yeah, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Popular
If you keep going a
videos.
little bit down.
All
Yeah,
right.
we're gonna go. I'm navigating the listeners and the viewers to the J Bid channel because we also got you on our playlist. So if you go to the playlist section,
Okay. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Right here.
yeah, you go. Let's see where you're at, Oos. Right there. You see the one with the red? It's exclusive financial tips. Trading stocks, bitcoins with J Bid.
Right here.
There you go. You hit that button right there, ladies and gentlemen, and that is where you're going to tune in with J Bid. That's where you find all our stuff that we've been affiliated with this USO right here, man. There you go, Us.
Yeah. Right on.
As we built the channel, bro.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So
how you guys been, man? How's Uce Podcast been doing, And how's my Vamos doing?
Man, the Polynesian is doing very well. Everybody is elevating. Lilo and Stitch just came out.
Okay.
That was a topic of its own. Have you watched it, or did you know that was coming out in theater, like the actual live?
That's a negative. Also, I've been out here in Southeast Asia, so I haven't keeping up with the movies, but I will look forward to go see Fantastic Four and Superman and some of the Mission Impossible. Isn't it out already? So it's right down the street. But this is here in Southeast Asia, so Little Stitch, no, man. I never got into it.
It hasn't reached out. It didn't reach out there yet.
It's over here, I'm sure it is, but just it's not my, one of the movies I won't probably won't see it. It just never piqued my interest.
Why, Oos? So you're the type that won't even like support the Polynesian movement and stuff,
Well,
and
I
theater and stuff like that.
it's not that like I know like everybody telling me about Moana and all that. You know what? I don't know. It just has to pique my interest. It's not about the Polynesian, you know. It's not about that. It's has to pique my interest. Like if it's something good, animation, and I'll go see it.
Damn. Hey, at least you're honest about it. At least you're
Yeah,
honest
I know
about it.
everybody Polynesian go see it, but hey, even Moana, I haven't seen it. Everybody, hey, have you seen that? Like, what? I haven't seen that. Like, it's Polynesian Samoa. Like, okay, but it's not something that, it's just, I'm just different. It has to pique my
Yo,
interest.
and
For example, like people would ask me, what's your favorite animation? Well, you know what? They're coming out with a movie, How to Train the Dragon. That piqued my interest. The real movie, that was a good movie. That's to me. But other than that,
suddenly you're missing the point here. So you do not support the Polynesian, but here you are on the Wahoo's channel supporting us through financial ways, right? So you're not a person to support that way. You're supporting us by helping our Polynesian coconut folks to get information on how to invest. Okay, you know what I
yes,
mean? I gotta have to save
that's
you right
it.
there, bro, because I guess I can't be judging folks, man. I think you represent 80% of the Polynesian who does not support the Polynesian movement as far as when it comes to entertainment and sports and movies and stuff like that that we're not used to. Yeah, I'm not holding that against you guys. It's just like you said it, bro. It has to pique your interest. So, that's what's up, man. Now, if I ask you, if I okay, before we talk about trade stocks and all of that realm, if you was to be informed that it will help like our nephews and nieces in the future by supporting causes like this, by going to the movies to purchase, even if it's not something that you're into, like the Lilo and
Right.
Stitch movies, but it's something to inspire our future generations to become actors or become stunt devils or even a writer or producer and stuff like that by getting information to like, hey, this is why we're asking you guys to go out there and support the channel. Would you consider that and make you want to go ahead and check it out, or you're still like, if it's not if it's not something that piques my interest in, it is what it is.
Definitely. I will be there. If you want to send me an email, hey, this is for the Polynesians and this is for our people, I will be there. There's no doubt about that. I'll be there to support it for our future generation, obviously,
See,
because
so
to
that
inspire,
go
to
ahead.
inspire, to inspire.
Yes,
That's the
exactly.
key. So if you want to send me an email, hey, this is that, then I will feel like, yes, I will be there. There's no doubt about that.
So it's so much more of not enough of our Polynesian folks on media is to help promote that, to spread the awareness, huh?
Yes,
I think that's what it is, bro. It's not so much of our polys not trying to support. It's probably the fact that we're not aware of certain stuff. So that's what's
exactly.
up, bro.
Exactly. Like if I would have known, like I know about Moana finally, so I can go see it and all that. But even Little and Stitch, who would have told me like Little and Stitch is about Islanders, right? But if you would have sent me an email and all that, yes, I'll be there for to support it just for our future generations. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's definitely a good experience when I went to go check out Lilo and Stitch. I don't want to know if I don't want to say that pride. I guess it is. It brought pride or something to like, wow, that's our people up there on the screen, the big screen. Even though that there's controversy, comments on it on the TikTok realm and probably IG and Facebook. To me, I looked at it like, bro, this is what's up, man. Especially us coming from the little dot, from the little island, especially you're from the island, understanding like to come into this big
Yep.
continent.
Yes.
and seeing your own folks, rather if they're Filipinos, rather so what if they're not? That's not considered Polynesian. That's still Pacific. You know, they
Exactly.
look like us, man. So
So, but if you notice, I'm not sure if you notice everything media wise and entertainment wise, the Pacific Islanders are coming up. It's almost like they're taking over, right? I don't know. Are they taking over? Well, if you go to Australia, a lot of them they're talking about like the Samoans are the stars. I could be wrong. New Zealand, but now you see a lot of Polynesians are in the films are getting popular, and everybody like right now. If they some of our friends are like, "Well, are you Samoan? Are you going to do the haka?" I'm like, wait a minute, what? The haka there? It's getting popular. Like, do the haka. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that. But are you gonna do the scream? Like, but it's getting popular all over. So if you sit back and look at it and say, are we taking over? Are we coming up? Obviously, we're coming up, but are we taking over? So if you go back to philosophy talk, this is like I don't know what 2 years ago, talk about there's a mythology about the moon like race. They were the original human beings. This is besides the Bible. I know about the Bible, but they're the original race that inherited Earth before Adam.
who was this? What's this called?
It's called the moon.
Colonized people?
The moon, like race. MU. They're the
How you spell that?
Hawaiians. They're mu. Mu. If you look it up and Google it, we're
Mu race.
the moon race, and they're the original inhabitant before Adam and Eve. They're the they explain it like they're like half human, half spirit beings. They're hybrids, and they're the one who the original, like I mean, I'm just stating the mythology, but it's up to you if you want to believe it or not. They're like been around for a long time, and they're like the spirit beings that materialize to physical beings, and they were before the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans are the Atlantis, like some people talk about it. So the Atlantis is second, and then after the Atlanteans, that's where Adam and Eve came from. But anyway, that's another conversation for another time. But if you look it up, the Mu are Polynesians. The Polynesians are the original human race. They're the most connected to the spirit and divine human beings. But look it up. Just look it up. It's a mythology. Anyways, but
Bro, you speaking? No. Continue on with that, bro. That just piqued my interest. Zeus.
so there are the original in the world, but they've been
Uh-huh.
silent and been like what do you call it, put down for a long time. But they've been around for a long time. They're at the moon, and they have the moon race, and that's what the Moana talks about. Like there is the ancient. It's ancient. They call it the ancient, like teaching, ancient, like what do you call it, knowledge goes all the way back. And after them, that they're the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans are the Atlantis. People said, was there Atlantis? Who knows? But a lot of people that with ancient knowledge that Knights Templar referred to that the Atlanteans was real. And before the Atlanteans or the Atlantis that destroyed and was buried by the flood, the moons were before them. There was
Bro,
seven.
you see it right there? You see the screen right there I got on? You speaking facts, bro. I'm on Google's.
Yes, yes. So
You
that's
said
it.
7 right there, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
look at
that's
that. Boom.
so they were the original ones. So if you go by this, then we are the original, like humans at that time, and we possess. Well, I'm not saying they possess more like. Okay, let me break it down based on my research. They can go from spirit to physical. You know what I'm saying? Like
From okay.
they can go like spirit, like because according to this myth, according to all this, we're all eternal beings. You know what I'm saying? We're all came from the divine, the source. We just came here to manifest or demonstrate physical beings and choose to become humans. But anyways, but if you you see that the moon, they're the original race of humans before that. Other than
Goose,
that,
that's the first time I've ever heard of that, bro, for real.
what?
And the fact that
Oh
yeah.
wait,
The
who's
fact that I just
man?
pulled it up.
I
For
know
real.
who's. Come on, man. It's like I've been researching all the things like human history and all that. Like what? The Polynesians? Polynesians? Now we're starting to come back up. Like it's almost like they're coming back up to almost like take over. But you
I've
can see
always
that.
knew, bro. I always knew that I was like a God descent. I've always felt it in my bones, bro, that I was a worthy person and is a human. Like, you know what I'm saying? That my spirit, my inner ego or alter ego or whatever you call it, was like
Okay.
a descendant of God. Like I felt like I was like Zeus in all of them. Yeah, bro.
So
I'm not even
that's
playing. It was, I
that's
just feel,
that's later down the road. But just look it up.
yeah.
The moon, the Atlantis. The Atlantis is the one that piqued my interest. The Atlantis, because
But the Atlantis is the one that led you to the moon.
so yeah, the Atlantis. If you look up the Knights Templar, like the people
Mm-hmm.
the Knights Templar looking around, they all say they're trying to discover the ancient technology and the knowledge of the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans are the one who carry the knowledge. I know about the Bible, but because and you have to go deep in the Bible because the there are many beings at that time, but they take controls of the earth. And but in other words, to keep it short, according to mythology, we're all eternal beings. We're just here for an experience, and but one of them, like the Gnostic, like we talked about, the Gnostic teachings. You know about that the Gnostic the last time I shared with you? The Gnostic is the one that was silenced by the church. And the reason why I dive into the Gnostics because they have nothing to do with violence. They have nothing to do with violence. Did you want to hear that? Like right now, if you have people like that, they're nothing about violence and they just want to share something, and the one with authority will silence them. Wouldn't you want to hear what they want to say? And most likely they might speak the truth. I'm not saying all the time, but what do you think? The people that nothing violence and go about their way, but they just want to express and say something. But if the people with authority and kill them and silence them, what you think that's you want to hear what they want to say, right? Like you think about in the past in human history. But anyways, I know this is a whole another subject. But all I want to say is just go research like the legends, the Mu, and the Gnostic teachings because even people now I talk to like if you look at the Gnostic teaching, they're the one that they proclaim the original teaching of Christians. So now, anyways, up to you. How you go about it? Now we have the research and so many information are available for how you go about it. But whether you want to be stubborn like us Samoans to go with what we believe in, or to understand the big picture and go forward with what we see who we really are coming up, considering the move.
What do you think from your research? What do you think happened to the moon people?
Well, if you look at the Eastern philosophy, mythologies, uh, it talks about the Hindu
Mhm.
religion, right? They've been saying we've been around for a while, and I mentioned like the zodiac, like calendar, and those zodiac talks about ages, and the ages is measured on the movement of the planets. Like, for example, the years, right? 365 days. That's the movement of our planet, right? Like even the day, it's the movement of the moon and our Earth. They measure that. There are ages, there are cycles in Earth. There's cycles in Earth. There's cycles in planets. There's cycles in water, right? Like the water goes there, it evaporates, and the water turns into rain. The rain dumps down, it goes back to water, it evaporates. There are cycles created by a higher God or the supreme being. So, so as Earth and everything we see, there there are movements of the sun, moving all that. Those are all cycles. Like, how do we came up with a month, 31 days, 30 days? How do we came up? If you look it up, it's a movement of the stars, movement of the moon, movement of our month, the tilt of our Earth. So there are cycles in our Earth. So if you ask me how we see the future, those are all part of it. I don't know. Am I confusing? Sound confused relate to that.
No, you're good. Let's continue on, bro.
Yeah. So, and then all the cycles is part of a. So in the Eastern philosophy, compared to, there are cycles of a year, and the cycle that we're in, so supposedly is called Pisces cycle. Pisces cycle. What is the significance of the zodiac like calendar is a fish. So where do you see the fish? Can you tell me where to see the fish right now? The fish, like symbol.
No.
See the fish everywhere? Christians. You see the fish?
Oh, okay.
Okay, the fishing, right? Prior to that,
Uh-huh.
what is the fish? So let's call it the Pisces, and then you go to the Taurus, like is the bull. The bull. Where do we hear the bull from? The calf in the Bible. In the,
Roman.
yeah, the bull. Yeah. Well,
Roman,
you go
Zeus.
back to some of those calendars, the calf and all that. They make. Moses when he came down, and it's like, oh, they're building a statue of the bull or the calf or the cow. That's what it is. Anyways, so in all those cycles, they say, I'm just saying, mythology doesn't necessarily mean it's true. They say we're moving to Aquarius. Aquarius is the new cycle coming up. After Pisces, they're going up to the new age. So the new age is coming. Aquarius, if you Google ChatGPT, it's knowledge. Knowledge is almost like unified knowledge and technology. It's coming up. According to that Eastern beliefs, we're all, again, this is all mythology and also ideas and not necessarily true of related to reincarnation, right? The reincarnation is that meaning when the last time I spoke to you related to your mom, right? And you know, right now we have 3D classes. We look at 3Ds and all that. Now with the AI, if they already collect enough information in the future, can you we have a podcast, the way you talk, the way you sound and all that, they can recreate you in the future. What do you think about that? Like if you put on the goggles, like what do you call it, MetaQuest and all that, AI will collect all your information about you, your Google search, your credit card, and all that. They can create you. So, for example, I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, let's say you passed away, and your kids want to summon you. You know, they can really put on the goggles. AI will recollect everything you said about this podcast, what you cook and all that, and makes you sound just like you. So they can go.
But it won't even be my spirit. It won't even be
Well,
me. It will just be AI. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. Isn't that almost like the same thing? It's almost like we on a matrix right now. It's a reality. And then
Yeah.
you go back to my background as electrician and then telecommunication. Everything is atoms, right? Everything is energy. Everything is it's a energy that would came from you cannot destroy, you cannot create. It just pass on. Anyways, I don't know how we got distracted on this. We are supposed to talk on financial, but anyway. It goes back to the
Just
moon.
continue on with the moon, bro. The
The
moon.
moon, the moon.
That's more
Just
interesting to me right
research the
now.
moon. The moon is interesting. There were like so if you go back to that moon, there's according to history, there are seven root race of mankind. Moon was the first, and it passed down. I think we're on the fourth root race of mankind. There's two more coming after us. But but this is a mythology. You look at Google ChatGPT. Hey, are there any
Right
like
there, bro. Are you
what
looking at
is
the
it? What
screen?
is it? The moon civilization? What is it? It's
Moon civilization is I don't know that word, concept
so the scientific concept
reference to
referring
a
to
myth.
mythological laws continent and advanced culture that exists in the Pacific Ocean. That's where we all came from. According to some theories, something associated with the Lemurian and the Atlantis and is considered by some to be. So yeah, that's if you go down to that rabbit hole, so many of them. Uh, I'm just researching all of them. I'm still do, and it talks about yeah, and Samoa was part of it. The word the OT, but I'm saying it's not the truth, but it's a mythology.
It's almost like it's like what you mentioned earlier
Yeah,
that those are that with authority
yeah,
tend to hush,
hush.
quiet people down.
So that's right. What it is remember I keep saying Gnostic, right? You gotta go to Gnostic Christian, right? And this is what I've been wanting to share with you in our platform. When I dive into Gnostic Christians, okay, I'm gonna rock some beliefs here, Christians, right? Are you okay with it?
Dude, this is the why ooze. It's
Okay.
why
Why,
ooze.
Moose? So the Gnostic Christian was silenced by the church. Our last conversation, we talked about that, right? The Gnostic Christians is the one that doesn't believe in rituals and rules of the church. You know why? Because they believe we're all eternal beings that came from the spirit world. I don't know who has that belief. Well, what happened is the creator of this world. Okay, my brother's gonna have a fit with this. The creator of the physical world is Satan.
Okay.
The creator of this world is evil. And I'm just sharing how the Gnostic believes. The creator of this world is evil. And all he wants is power, rule, and control. But according to the Gnostic teachings, when Jesus came later on, he shared the knowledge, Yeshua, to free us from the Old Testament God. He is not the true God. He's one of the, what do you call it? The archangel was assigned to create this world and the physical world. Are you still following me?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why when you talk to atheists, they say, wait a minute, who's the God of the Old Testament? Who's the God of the New Testament? They say there's two different deities. So if you go back to the Gnostic teachings, just go dig into ChatGPT it. They all say they were the non-violent Christians that was silenced by the church because the church wants power and control. And then if you go back to the Nagamani Library was discovered in 1945 or 1944, they say they're the one who preserved the real teachings of Yeshua or Jesus, you know, Christ. And they're the one who believes in, I know you don't believe it. I remember that, like the truth about reincarnation and all that. In other words, we're all divine beings from the spirit world, but the demiurge or the god of this system that created this physical universe trap us in this physical world. I don't know. Am I losing? Am I confusing you? Am I lost you? I don't know how we
No,
get to.
just listening.
Just like so. In other words, when we die here, whether depending what you do now, if you continue to show love and imitate the true God, you'll go back to where we came from. And I know the last time we talked about your mother, right? Your mother is already in the real life. This is the real life. This is the false physical universe was created by the demiurge. They trap us, all of us here. So that's the Gnostic teaching. But in other words, the Gnostic teaching says, Christians, don't kill yourself, but do what you can do to help humans, to free us, go back where we came from. At the same time, we have to recognize the demiurge or the ruler of this world created seven archons. The ruler of this world created seven archangels too, archdemons. They runs everything all over the world. They have, like, for example, in Southeast Asia, they have like different culture. In Samoa and Polynesian, they have different culture, in America and all that. But they all tied to this demiurge that created the physical universe to trap us here. But if we wake up, anyways, yeah,
That's
welcome.
almost like it's like its own version of the book of Revelations in the Bible.
Well, yeah,
You know how the Revelations has its what, like seven candles or whatever it's called, and then the beast. It's like its own different version of interpretation of what the Revelation is talking. The book of Revelation is talking.
what? Yeah, the Book of Revelation talks about it. Almost didn't make it to the canon. Actually, it was in Egypt that they found the Book of Revelation that decided to add it in the last minute. And John, so it talks about John's vision of the future. Now, some suggest that John was talking about the age of Pisces, moving on to Taurus, moving on to Pisces, and now we're in the age of Pisces, moving on to the age of Aquarius, meaning a different age. And how do you go about that? Well, back then it was all oriented, and then we move on to Pisces, so all about like beliefs and all that. And now we're moving on to unified technology, unified ease because of technology. Anyways, these are all mythologies and things that you can look up. Uh, but hey, if you find it interesting, we can have a podcast about it based on my research because I've been researching about it. But all I gotta say is for the Christians, dive into the Gnostic Christians. Yeah, for a long time I'm against those. For 20 years I'm against the Gnostic Christians. Do you know about the Gnostic Christians? Like,
No,
no,
I
I'm just
remember
curious.
you. I remember you say that, bringing it up, and then I'm just like, who the heck is that? But just to go off of what you're saying is, that's why I wanted to. It's another reason or another element of why I wanted to have a podcast. Just a platform to have everybody, instead of being judgmental about the conversation of whatever individuals are talking about, bro, you just share what you studied and the conclusion that you came out with. Because me personally, I also feel like that we as human race, whatever country you're at,
Yeah.
study that you were brought up to be, whether it's in education, the school education system that is taught in those, especially us in the U.S., there's got to be certain facts and like scientists, like scientific conclusions for something to be considered or dubbed that's real or that's the truth. But when people do their own research, like I'm not saying this is something that I'm into, but just through my own experience and what piques my interest with my travels in Asia, I didn't go at it whether I was in China, Korea, or Japan, or even in the Philippines and Guam and any of those areas, Thailand too. I didn't go into those countries feeling like my beliefs of Christian was the only way. I went there with an open mind. And because I went there with an open mind, I was able to see a lot of different diversity of different race.
Okay.
And they were not all Christians, but the way that they lived their life was the same way that the Christian folks practiced their life. And then it made me question, is Christianity the truth? Well, for me, it's still up in the air because the only true way for myself to know is when I actually die. And then if there is an afterlife, if there's going to be an afterlife, if I'm going to be reincarnated, or if I'm going to come into this world in a spirit, only one can tell. Only the dead can actually confirm if we're even talking about which religion or belief is the true essence of
Yeah,
life, you know? So
exactly.
I'm not lost, bro. I was just more in tune
And
and
that
interested in the fact that
and that's why we share
you're
these
you're
things.
putting it.
Yeah, it's like there's nothing we just sharing, right? Like even to our
Mhm.
Polynesian and all that. The only thing that like I will say this, for example, in my belief, I didn't believe in afterlife, but because of my field, electricity and all that, I want to study it. There's no going against that because there's evidence about harnessing energy of electricity and atoms. Everything is connected, right? If the last time when we talked about like how can I communicate to you wirelessly right now?
Energy.
Energy.
Yes.
So everything is connected. It's particles and all that. So there's energy that comes in and out everything. And energy, according to scientifically fact, according to what do you call it, what's the law? First law of thermodynamics. You cannot create or destroy energy. It has to pass along from different forms. So meaning energy can comes from somewhere, the source, God, or whatever it is, and it passed down there, prints itself on. So if you look up first law of the thermodynamics, that's scientifically proven, and that's because I use that for communication. Okay, well, I set up like antennas and receivers. Like okay, how many bandwidth I can get from it? Like okay, how fast is your internet? Let me.
And upload, I want to say within a range, and download, I'm not exactly sure, but I seen it. I wanted to be at
Okay, so
100 speed.
did you get did you get two like versions like 5 point
Yes.
something gigabytes, and you
Yes.
have a like 2 point. So what is the lower one for? Like let's say you have 5
If the
gigabytes.
it says it's slow, if the speed slows down, then it kicks into that slow one, so that way there's still internet going.
Okay, I'll share this with you because I do internet back home. The lower frequency of the internet is you can go farther. You can go in farthest part of your house and you can grab that internet. The fastest one, like a 5 point something, is the closest. You can get the fast internet, but you have to be close to the web. You know what I'm saying? To
To
the
the
modem,
modem, right? The
yes, to
Wi-Fi
the
modem.
modem.
Yes.
Because what happened is when you have walls around the house, it would disrupt that fast internet. But the lower frequency of your internet will vibrate through the walls, and the walls vibrate. So the walls vibrate too in the lower frequency. Let me be clear. The lower frequency of your web vibrates longer through the walls. So meaning it's almost matched the frequency of your walls. So that way you can go as far as you can the other part of the house. That's why you have the lower frequency of your web of the internet. 2 point something. You feel me? So
Yes.
like for example, in your house, if you are way out in the other world, connect to your lower frequency because that's where you get the fastest internet. Because why?
Interesting.
Why? Because the lower frequency vibrate to everything. Because the wall vibrate the low frequency and everything. So, but if you have the fast 5 point something like frequency gigabytes, it only stays within closer to the web. That's to help whoever have those are coconut heads related to internet. I mean, I'm just sharing
And
this.
and then you can and then you can actually still lay that as an example why energy when it comes to beliefs in religion.
Yes, yes, and that's why I look into it because that's my field, and so because of that, then I realize, wait a minute. Like for example, those information carry on, so then we can be able, according to mythology, I can be able to communicate to you, Kenny, telepathically. But what happened is in the moon and Atlanteans, they were able to do that without cell phone. And if you look up Nikola Tesla said, I can communicate with anybody telepathically. The problem is its imperfection, and because of the control of the system, limited us to believe that we can't do that. We still want
And when
to.
you're saying system, he's basically saying like those that are in power at that
Yes.
time, whether they were
Right now.
governors or kings and queens.
Yes. Because when we're growing up, we're all brainwashed to a certain system, culture. And that's why from the age of 0 to 7, our brains vibrate in the theta low frequency that records everything growing up from as a baby to 7-year old, to record everything from our culture, religion, and all that, and language and all that. So, and their beliefs and the system that we grew up with. And you have to remember this whole system of the world was created by this demiurge to control. And that's why I'm leaning toward to that Gnostic, that they are in power to control and create fear to humans. So that's why Jesus came to try to free us up, anyways. But at the same time, if you look up ChatGPT and look up the young ones that they can recall their past life, you know, look up the people that they. It's only that certain age from zero, the baby, to 7 years old, they can be able to recall. They say there may be experienced thousands about. They say, "Oh, I used to live in Japan. I used to. That's my mom and all that," because they reincarnate, you know, to those. But at the same time, in that age, you're able to learn and to be programmed. Download. Bruce Lipton said, a doctor said, you're being programmed from age as a baby is 0 to 7. Once you download all those programs,
What is that called? What is that exercise called, or that story that you're talking about? What you're talking about just now? What is it called? I'm in ChatGPT. I'm about to look that up. From 0 to 7.
0 to 7, or look up Bruce Lipton programming, learning, or downloading information as a baby from Bruce Lipton, from Theta or brainwaves. So we can put it all together. So, what happened to our investing? We were supposed to talk about that. I don't know how we ended up this.
Oh, I wanted to talk about something that it's a podcast, bro. Maybe
Okay.
that's something that it just happens to connect with what you're piquing my interest in, something that I actually like. So let me see here. It appears there may be some confusion regarding Bruce Linton in relationship to brain wave data. There is no widely recognized figure by the name associated with neuroscience or brain wave research. However, there is a Bruce Linton who is certified registered nurse. Nope, that's not the one. I see our
Lipton,
Bruce as in Bruce, and then Lipton as in Lipton.
PTON, yeah. And also search for Raymond Moody. Raymond Moody, a doctor. Raymond Moody, doctor. He's a researcher of.
Okay, so I did find brainwave states and subconscious programming. Dr. Bruce Lipton, a developmental biologist and an author of The Biology of Belief, emphasizing the profound influence of brainwave states on subconscious programming and overall well-being. So as individual matures, their dominant brain wave states shifts from it's like a delta, which is 0.5-4 HZ,
Yeah, low
deep
frequency.
sleep. And then you have one that says theta, which is 4 to 8 HZ, light sleep, deep meditation, and early childhood. And you have alphas who are from 1 to 8 that has relaxed wakefulness and clarity. Then you have beta from 20 to 30, active thinking and problem solving. And then there's us in our age from 30 to 100. We're the gamma, high level information processing and consciousness.
Right.
But you're basically offer from that age of delta. And also, well, this is different. I like what you were going at with like
Yeah. So look at
certain age.
Bruce Lipton talks about the lower frequency brainwaves programming. So if you can chat GPT that, then it goes in deep more about that.
He talks about the lower what?
Lower frequencies as a baby from 0 to 7 year old age. So the lower frequency brain waves. I don't know if you can put that together to type it in. I'm
You
sharing
could.
you. I'm sharing you what I've been researching for since with the last time we talked.
Let's see what it has for us as I'm researching that. That's interesting. Still popping up this thing. What I just read to you, the predominant from birth to age 2 associated with deep sleep, dominant from age 2 to 6, linked to imagination and rapid learning. And age from 8 to 12 emerges around age 7, associated with calm alertness.
Okay, so if you type in Bruce Lipton downloading program, oh, let me see if I can do it. This thing is slow. So, I can do it right now. So anyway, what
That's how we are all
programmed?
programmed
Yes.
from birth.
Well, everything else was programmed. Program in culture, program in knowledge, program in mathematics, and all that. So, and that's how it is. And what it is according to Eastern mythology. So I like to use that because to separate that, you have to necessarily believe it. That they believe that we all incarnated back on earth because we haven't reached a certain state of enlightenment. You see what I'm saying? And when Jesus came to help us to show love and reflect it. That's how you reach enlightenment, and that's how you move up to a progression and free from the demiurge, the god of this physical universe. So, how do you find the truth? To me, how do you go about it? It's finding patterns. Remember the last time we always talked about you have to look for patterns. You do research, see a pattern. What's a pattern? Okay, I see a pattern here. All right. Okay, how's it related to um nature? Is it matches with nature? That's how you discover the truth, right? So, but
Mhm.
at the same time, we learned a lot of things growing up, but we want to find the truth. What is the truth? Just learn everything from the east and the west, and then we put it together and try to match it with nature. Like, what is nature? Well, the law of gravity. Well, you stand here, you jump down. Well, you can't really jump from 100 feet over there. You're gonna die. That's nature. You gotta respect the law of nature. So that's you go about it. So that's how you go about fighting it. And then if you listen to a lot of people, it's like, okay, how do we know we have the truth? Well, many people claim what we have right now is been programmed all the way from our upbringing. Okay. According to the Eastern religion, we're going to Aquarius from Pisces. So that's the what do you call it? We're moving forward to the new age of understanding. And because of technology, now might have the unified technology to understand a lot of the new generation coming up, maybe better than us.
So let me ask you this then, Uce.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, man. Let's say if 90% or 95% of our behavior is programmed before age 7, who is actually running your life right now or at age 7
Uh-huh.
old version of you? Or is it a 7-year-old version of you?
Yeah. Well, that's what they said according to well, based on looking at it. When it
Yeah,
came
just
to
for your own, just
yeah,
conversation based, like
conversation,
tell me
yeah.
your honest
So
feedback. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
my honest feedback, you know what?
yeah.
If based on the Eastern religion, we're reincarnated, right? We're coming back and you have some certain knowledge of your they call it previous life, right? You know? Yeah, if you look at but the kids they have previous life. But at the same time, You are reprogramming the new life and the culture where your upbringing is. So now you have a new program. You downloaded a new program, whether Samoan, white, or Indian, whatever it is. So when you grow up, and they said, if you look it up, ChatGPT, it say 95% of our life, of our personality, this being is run by 90% of our subconscious. 95% is of subconscious, meaning our upbringing. So the whole goal of this life is trying to change our program to be better. The, the name of the game. At the same time, try to do good and help people. Help yourself and help other people. That's the name of the game, according to the Eastern religion, according to Christianity. The Christianity talks about doing that.
So what if the brainwaves are like downloading apps? What kind of apps you unknowingly download as a kid?
So as a kid, well, you can't go back to as a kid, right?
Well, but yeah, but if you was a kid and knowing what you do know, what kind of app you think you would download at that time because
Well,
of what you know right now?
I don't think 90% you can't be able to help yourself as a kid because you're gonna grow up wherever your parents you are. Or you're gonna observe your parents is. The name of the game is you're gonna learn whatever culture you'll become. But in the end, according to philosophy, is how when you become as an adult to unprogram your conscious subconscious.
Let's say you grew up in a chaos,
Yes.
scarcity, or trauma, right? What does
Everyone,
that mean for you?
everyone,
Yeah, so
everyone has trauma. I realize that.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. Even as a Christian and a reverend and a Protestant, I realize it doesn't matter. We all have trauma. In every single thing, whether you have it, well, that's it all depends. You have a high trauma like this or little trauma. We all have trauma in life. It's just part of this system that was created based on the archons and the demiurge. That's how he does things.
So can it actually be changed?
Yes, you can be able to change. You have to reprogram it. And
Okay, so
remember,
what's one of the trauma that you experienced as a child where you changed
well,
it so that way that trauma was gone now and you find yourself,
wow.
in a good space.
Well,
See, that's a good conversation
that's a
right there.
hard one, man.
You know, what what is one of the many traumas that JP can share with our audience? Now, I'll share one with you when you're done.
So the Uso, let me. That's a hard one, and it can be sensitive related to that. Like,
Well,
like
let me tell
there's
you
so
about.
many trauma. But let me. Okay, I'll share experience. In Samoan culture, it's really different. I'll share that, right? And would it present trauma? Yes, it is. I mean, I hate to say to because if you look at other cultures, they're all different. And what I wanted to share with our fellow coconut heads, same as the whites and blacks and all that, we are not the standard of human beings, but try to recognize that they're all part of what the flower, combined flower of culture, whether you're white, black, and all that, they're all beautiful. Meaning, like, as you go to Samoan, you go to Europe, you go to Asia, it's like, wow, they all have different culture, but you have to learn to appreciate it. And you all can put it all together that we're all one. You just born in a different culture and recognize that we're all humans and we're all part of love and we're all came from the same source. That we're all love. That's how I try to see. But in the trauma that you talk about is Polynesian. I know a lot of Polynesians going to go back. Wait a minute, you're not part of it. No, I love our Polynesian, but you have to be above that. You have to be above that and see things from higher up of all the cultures. You have to be recognized. We are, let me say this, as the Eastern beliefs. We are gods. We all part came from the divine source. We're all part of. We all going back there as a divine source. There's no culture, no sex, no. We all one. We're just here for an experience. And what happened is this demiurge try to divide us as culture, as religion, as belief, and everything you see in this world is to divide us as one. That's the bottom line of this belief of this demiurge, is to divide us. But we're all one. We're all one. When we go back, it doesn't matter what religion, what beliefs, where you're from, we're all one. That's how you see it. So the trauma I said is all cultures. I'd say. Does that make sense?
So that makes sense. It's the culture, right? So now, going back to childhood, you have a brother, right? So why is it that two kids that grew up in the same household but end up with totally different beliefs and results? Why you think that, Oos? Why, Oos?
Ooze, because it all depends how you what you accept and what trauma you've been through and how you go about it and analyze it. You can choose to be stubborn. You can choose not to be. You can accept it. So let me share you a paper of the okay Eastern. Let me go back to really deep information. You can Google it. There's something called the hand. There's a hand documentary. The hand documentary is called These Are the Bloodlines. The hand documentary I can share with you. I'll send it to you. The hand documentary talks about there are the bloodlines of the elites and they're the bloodline of the divine. They've been here for a long time, and they say they're the part of the Luciferian group. They control the whole world, and they manipulate everything in this world. And their whole purpose on this world, they said, you know, they know about Yahweh, right? The God of the Bible. I'll just share this as information. Yahweh is the one that runs this whole everything, as many people call. But the Luciferians, they call themselves the negativity, positive negativity. The Luciferian talks about, I'm bringing negativity and we're here to kill people and everything negative. And I'm bringing negativity to a life. And you know what they say? Negative. I'm doing the work,
What
God's
about it?
work. They said, I'm doing God's work. But what? If you read the paper, said, because I'm bringing in troubles in your life so you can wake up to recognize who you are and who you need to become. What? I don't understand that. Like, wait a minute. It was like, said, and then Lucifer said, we're sent way from above, but they said, according to the law of one. This is, I don't say, and not just only the law of one, you see this in Eastern religion. They said, the Luciferian said, we run the system too. And they said, I'm bringing in disaster and problems to your life. And the reason why is to make you wake up, to make you recognize that you need to wake up and see who you really are and get back to the source. That's all it is. So if you have problems in your life, and if you go back to honesty, and the scripture speaks about that, even though in the Bible, and talks about, let me finish your training. Let me see, finish your training. Let me look it up.
As JP is looking it up, I'm going to play a little commercial for everybody as we wait.
Okay.
You
You
ready?
ready? Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
a,
yeah. So First Peter,
okay, go for it.
Peter 5:10. But if you notice the verse 10, it says, but after you have suffered a little while, you know? So let me read that. There's a different Bible about that. So let me see the King James. King James said, but the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect. So, like I said, the Luciferian says, we're here to give you trouble in your life, to make you suffer.
The NIV says,
And
and the God of all grace,
yes, okay.
who called you to his eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while. while himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast.
Yeah. So, the Luciferian, so you notice the scripture, it promised that after suffering, you had to suffer. And they say they're part of was sent by the higher, the divine, to bring us suffering, to make us wake up. And those suffering to train us to be better people, to train us to better beings, to train us to remember who we are. So we need to return back to the source. That's why they're here. I mean, I'm just sharing you Eastern combined to like Gnostic and all the beliefs. So when you go through problems, just recognize they're trying to help you to get better in life. Just don't jump off the cliff. Well, you can if you want, but it's part of the training. And if you don't suffer, then you're not going to gain any results in life. And that's part of the beliefs, Gnostic and Eastern beliefs. And it's recorded in the Bible. That's how it is. And you don't guess who suffered. Think about it. Who was our foremost leader that will suffer and die? Doesn't it make sense? Jesus Christ, right? And he said, if I'm suffering and die, guess what? They're going to do the same to you. Because what? We need to face those so that you can be better. Wake up, recognize. But anyways, again, we can.
So, so with that, I have another question of like, and this is just again just a general conversation, right? Do you believe that society is intentionally programming kids through media, school, even TikTok? Or
Yes.
if the theory is
Yes.
hypnotic, is the screen time today the new hypnosis?
Well,
Hypnosis.
I think that's
Hypnosis.
hypnosis. Yes. I had to say yes into that regard because it is. And this just wasn't us to be programmed as that, but you notice our kids, everything is programmed. And look at the data, right? There's a Netflix about that, that many of the kids nowadays have faced depression more than ever in a young age. Because why? They want likes in their social media. So yes, it's part of the program. And the challenge is, how do you go as a parent to deal with it? Well, if you there's a program that came out that I don't know what is, even the one who created this monster can even help the kids. They can't even. So what do you do? Man, I don't know how to help your kids to. It's part of the program related to this system. But I think uh if I, as a parent that have kids, you have to really spend a lot of time with your kids and share them what's good and bad. Don't just hide them from, like, I know us Samoans and Christians, we like to hide the bad to focus on the good. But if I was a parent, if I have kids, I'll show them the bad too, so they can see. And the reason why I share that is because if there is this powerful being, he let us see the bad and good. And we have to make our choice in life in the end. That's what like we have to do. And just like Buddha, the Buddha, Hinduism, like they'll try to show them as prince until you went out and really recognize the world is a lot of suffering. So that's why he turned around and tried to be a Buddha. So that's what I was saying to our kids, that as a parent to show them good and bad and help them to make the right choice. At least show them both worlds. But I'm not a parent, so it's a tough decision, and that's up to you, parents. And I have to give credit to respect to all of you. How to go about it.
Now, so I'm going to take this time to reach out and talk to the audience of the YUs and summarize what Jay Big has shared with us today. Did you know that from birth to age 7, kids' brains are mostly in what's called the Theta wave state? That's basically a light hypnotic state. They're like little sponges that just soaking up everything. There's no filters. There's no questions. Whether you see them or hear it, it goes straight into the subconscious. Cautious. It's all it is.
Yes. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. And like he mentioned, and like he mentioned, man, here's the scary part about that. What's the number one thing raising our kids today? It ain't parents, it's screens. Screens like YouTube, TikTok, Netflix, all these stuff, man, all of that stuff. And the science backs it up. Screen time has been proven to increase data activities, especially in kids. So it's like they're in a hypnosis all over again. And TikTok is the hypnosis. That's their that's what it is, man. It really is. I see that in real life, bro. Not only just TikTok, all the social media platforms, IG, Instagram, YouTube, whatever that your kids are into.
Yeah. Yes.
It's crazy, man.
But
So think about that,
yeah.
guys.
And then
The
for a long
content that we're feeding.
for the long time, even if I'm a believer of the Christ and the Bible, if people will dive into the Bible, they realize that the God of the system is not the true God. The God of the system is evil. But the Gnostic Christians can take it a further part that they said the God of the system is the Demiurge, is saying that created everything to trap us here. I know, but you decide to do that research. But again, when Jesus came, that was the true right from the source. He is the part of this God of this system. He came from the true God, the true source, to help us try to free us from this world. But please do your research. Look at the Gnostic teachings and look at the Nag Hammadi library. And these are the teachings that was silenced by the church. We have the Council of Nicaea, Council of Trent, and all that. That's what we have the Bible right now. But if you want to go back, there's many, things that was written before us. But at the same time, we were programmed to stick to what we believe in and what we believe in churches and Christianity. But all I ask is just do the research. Now we have information and technology to do that. Find the truth. That's all it is.
There you have it, guys, man. That was our little conversation of 1 hour and 16 minutes about what is this, religion or belief or something like that?
I don't know what happened. We were supposed to talk about financial. It went way off course to philosophy and I don't know religion or
Hey,
I don't
yes,
know.
that was warming you up, bro. That was me warming you up because it's been a while. You've been gone for like 3 months, brother. So,
Okay.
we brought you on the platform to talk about right now. Now the current state right now with President Trump and everything that's going on with
Yeah.
people he selected in the leadership. As you know, the stock has been plummeting, and a lot of folks, a lot of businesses, and those that are shareholders, investors, has backed out. A
Yeah.
lot of places,
Right.
it's out there, bro. So the number one thing that our audience has, man, and our concern is, bro, should we be pulling out because we feel like there's no more time to invest, man? What is your take on that?
Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. You're not the only one. And friends like asking me the same question. I have friends on the street. Hey, the market crashed. What are you doing? Okay. My simple answer is dollar cost average. That's the last time we talked about that is uh BCA, meaning buying every month. If it goes down, buy it. Keep buying it. So let me share you a chart. I don't know if I can share with you. I want to share you the facts related to this investing, all right?
It's
How do
all
you,
yours, bro.
how do you go about
You just hit share like you did the last
that?
time.
Okay. Okay, let me
And
see.
while Jay Beat is getting that rolling up, as Jay Beat is getting all that set up, we're going to play a little music.
Powered by Riverside.
And if you want to sponsor the Wild Ooze, subscribe, man. We are looking to get to 1,000, baby.
All right, those.
Yeah.
All right, those. So you see the chart?
Nope, I see our screen. You shared our screen. You got to select the actual screen that you want to share.
Okay.
As he works on that, we'll continue to play some music as J-Bit sets up the screen share.
Okay.
Take your time, brother. No rush.
All right.
Share screen. There you go.
Okay.
It's all yours, brother.
So I don't know if you see my, well, you
You
see,
went out. Go back to the.
okay. You
There
see
you
the screen
go.
right here? So what I want, the simplest way to invest, if you want to still invest, is you continue to stack buying dollar cost average. Like, let's look for example, right? This is S&P 500. This is the year 2000. Who was alive in 2000? I don't know. So they went up. The price of S&P 500 is 142, and then went down. 89. Look at that. From 142 to 89, you know what? What happened? Everybody, oh, what? There's pain. I can't, like the stock of S&P 500 is $90. I'm losing money from 142. But if you keep buying, eventually the market will turn around. And you know why? The market is the engine of all the economy of the world. Just remember that. All like the economy of the world, your shopping, that's it, the stock market's part of it. That's the engine. So if you buy here, you buy low, you see, like say for example, 148, you buy here 91, you know what happened? You bring your average down of your buying. You keep buying every week or buying every month. You know what happened? Is keep going. You went back to 151. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, my money's going up. You keep buying and drop down. You know what happened here? 2008. Remember what happened 2008? Who's what happened 2008?
Yeah. Replenished.
Yeah,
Hammer.
yeah. So that was the worst market crash since. So S&P 500 was 153. It went all the way down to 86. See? So and people are like, I'm going out. I'm cashing up. Don't sell S&P 500. Just keep buying. Buy low. There's a discount. You like discount? You go to shopping. There's a lot of clothes like 50% off. You buy it. So that's how you see the market. You buy low. You know what happened? In 10 years, 15 years, look at this. Look at this chart. It went way up. Look at that. It kept going up. It kept going up. It's still going up. You see what I'm saying? It's always going to go
That's
up.
crazy.
That's all I'm saying. So if you want to buy at 2000, you keep buying every week, or let's say you keep buying every month, you would have profited by now, and you keep going way up since then. So my advice for all the financial people in investing, keep buying, keep buying. And this is the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 average 10 to 12% annually. You heard me?
I'm listening.
And 10 to 12% annually. But I do want to share you a table. Let me see. Just see. You can cut this out. I want to show you a chart because people ask me about real estate and the stock market. Let me guess, real estate or or the stock market?
Real estate, I'm going to say, because, that's what we want in any country is to own a whole bunch of property.
All right, let's do the math. This is fact, right? Mm,
Yeah.
all right.
How Donald Trump and other people was able to make their money. Robert Kiyosaki and all of them,
Yeah,
buying
yeah,
properties and stuff.
right. I got it. I got
Airbnb,
it.
You know, a lot of people trying to get that, man. They're trying to get a whole bunch of properties, man.
Yeah. And like I said, yeah, it's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, if I had the funds too, I would just keep buying property, you know? I mean, that's how, what's his name? What is his name? So,
Yeah, there's
what is
nothing
his
wrong with that,
name?
but they're all turning around. They all what do you call it? They're all but I want to show you some facts. Here, yes, right here. You see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
What
So
comparing real estate to the SP?
yeah. So you see real estate 8 to 10? Let's take that. S&P 10 to 11. Hey, you know what? Uh, The best thing about S&P 500, what is the S&P 500? You ask me what is S&P 500? The stock market. All you have to do is look up a ticker. You can buy SPY or boom. Okay. Let me show you the screen. SPY. See right here? SPY. Right here. You can just buy this and keep buying that every week. You can outperform every single thing in the market. Or it's the same thing with Moon. It's Vanguard. B00. It's the same thing. Watch. Max, look at that. You still go up. Just keep buying. No,
And what are those ventures? What are those stock options like? Who are those guys? The one you
these
just
are
mentioned, those two
the
stocks.
S&P 500. These are the people the hedge fund that created these ETFs, basically. Big, and when you think about, let's for example, the S&P 500. Those are the 500 best companies in the United States or in the whole world, and it's already diversified. So let's think about. Let's look it up then. Let's say S&P 500 top 20 companies, right? Yeah, let's look at that. And the reason why you want to buy the S&P 500 because you're diversified in the 500 companies. So here it is. Let me see if it is. So it shows you 30% information technology, 14% financial. It shows it's diversified in healthcare, industrials, energy, utilities. So right here, okay, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. So if you invest in S&P 500 or SPY or VOO, you're currently investing to Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google, Broadcom, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, Alphabet, Google again, Chase, JP Morgan. I don't know about Eli Lilly. Visa, we have a Visa card. ExxonMobil, Costco, MasterCard, United Healthcare, Netflix, Walmart. So easy. It's all the most popular company in the world. You with me still?
Yes, I'm there, bro.
Okay. So
My
if you
my
buy that ETF SPY or VOO, you're basically diversified to all these companies. So in 10 years from now, it is what do you call it? 10 to 12%. And I want to show you. So you're doing good. This is traditional, but let me add something to this. I now, as you know, I'm a Bitcoin guy. Let me add ChatGPT, add Bitcoin, Bitcoin to compare. Let me see what it does. All right. So you see where I'm at? You see my screen?
yeah,
So who's winning this race?
it looks like it's the S&P.
Time to something? Really? You see my error?
Oh, you talk about Bitcoin is.
Yes, exactly. So for those who ask me, what should I buy right now? And for the next 5 to 10 years, look at Bitcoin. And I own Bitcoin. Look at this. Bitcoin outperformed S&P 500, outperformed real estate too. When people, if you please, YouTube people are moving away from real estate to buy Bitcoin. The people that understand Bitcoin. There is a producer of Hollywood. He owns multiple Airbnb. He owns a $2 million home, and he sold all his Airbnb to buy Bitcoin. And you know what? He said is the best decision of his life. You know why? Because look at this. Bitcoin outperforms S&P 500 and also outperforms real estate. Come on, you can't beat. Do I have to like share the math? So if you invest in Bitcoin right now, like I share with you, just buy Bitcoin and nothing else. In 5 years from now, you'll outperform every single else. You don't need a hedge fund. You don't need a financial advisor. You don't need all those people that try to sell you nonsense like, hey, you know what, the Morningstar or all that. No, 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 no. Bitcoin is a hedge fund itself. And that's why everybody is jumping into it. And the math doesn't lie. So, if you remember me and you, we talked about this 3 years ago, and Bitcoin was 20,000. Now it's 105. Am I still owning Bitcoin? Yes. I quadruple, what's it like, 4 times? Quadruple my returns. Would I sell my Bitcoin? No. I just share with my Uce right here. I borrowed against my Bitcoin. I want to share that with you. I don't know if I can. Coinbase, I send my Bitcoin there and I borrowed against it. I got a loan in less than 5 minutes. I don't have to go to a bank. It's a crypto loan. Borrowed against Bitcoin. I have money. You know what I did? I bought more Bitcoin. I copied MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy is the best performing company the last year of every company in the world. And I'm not kidding. So just look it up. Who's you still there? Am I talking
Yeah.
nonsense? Am I talking nonsense?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
You're not talking nonsense, bro, but I want to play devil's advocate right now and counter everything that you have just shared with
good.
me
Yes,
for the sake of entertainment purposes and also to try to convince me otherwise. All right. So I'm going to dumb this down as much as I can.
okay.
You and everyone else out there that does the investing, buy S&P 500, invest in Bitcoins, real estate, never loses. All of you guys out there. Let's think about this though. Let's take a second. For the S&P 500, they're not for broke people they're not. They're just not for broke people. It's safe, but it's slow.
Yes.
You put in your money today, and maybe, just maybe in 30 years, I doubt it, if you're rich, but for us that need that money right now, you might want to try making other moves. That's the only reason why I kick back on the S&P 500.
Okay.
Then we go into the Bitcoin, right?
Yes.
It's like a roller coaster, bro. First of
Yeah.
all, ain't nobody know who till this day has invented Bitcoin, and they don't even put a face on it. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Don't get me wrong. It's like what crypto stands for. What
Okay.
is it? Decentralization, you know?
Yep.
But Bitcoin is
Yeah.
like the cousin who gets rich and goes broke every holiday season. So one tweet, one lawsuit, one government move, boom, value gone, bro. You need real cash flow, not imagination coin hype, bro.
Okay.
The third one I have is real estate, right? In this
Yeah.
economy right now,
Okay.
who's got 100,000 laying around to put down on a house right now to buy this
Nobody.
property? Interest
Nobody.
rates are freaking sky high.
Yeah.
It is, right? Houses are overpriced. And if you think buyers are interested in that, uh, they're buying debt, maintenance, taxes, and then the tenants' headaches if you're trying to rent it out like an Airbnb, unless you got money. Unless you have money. So what's the move? Should we
Well,
invest in ourselves or learn
us.
skills that print
Look.
money, like coding, content, public speaking,
Look.
business systems? You know what I'm
Look.
saying? Is?
Look.
Yeah.
I would encourage you to continue to follow your passion, podcasts and all that. So my only advice, if you want the future go long, you need to put money in a treasury bond. What I'm trying to say is, let's say you start a business, right? Follow your passion. Do whatever you want, whatever. But if you make that extra cash, put it in investing. So there's three
Absolutely.
there's three choices. Real estate. I don't have Do you have that money? 100,000 in your company? Probably
No,
not.
no.
S&P 500? Can you do that? Yes. You can buy S&P 500 for $5. Bitcoin? Can you buy Bitcoin as $5? Yes, you can. So the numbers, so you have to choose S&P 500 or Bitcoin. So as for right now, the fastest growing ChatGPT, the fastest growing assets right now, Bitcoin versus all of them, Bitcoin outperformed every single one of them since inception. Gold, silver, S&P 500, real estate, and all. You know why? We talked about this before. Go back to the history of hunter-gatherers, or meaning when humans moving around as a tribe, let's say someone's, they use rare things to trade. What is money? What is money? It's like, okay, I come to you, I can exchange you a kalo, taro, or a fai, yeah. But you get to the point, we don't want to do that. We want something to exchange with. Like, okay, you know what? I'll give you rice stones, right? Also, right? Like,
Yes.
so it's a medium of exchange, something that is rare to trade as a medium of exchange, which eventually humans came to silver and gold because you know why? Or diamonds because it's rare. But what happened is diamonds became so rare that people want to hold on to it. Became like what do you call it? What do you call that? When you hold diamond, it's reserve currency, something you hold on to appreciate. Then you go back to, okay, I'm re-educating now. In 1971, the dollar detached from the gold. You know what that means? There was a point of time that the $1 you hold, this fake dollar bill, let me use this. A fake dollar was attached to gold. Until 1971, they detached the gold from dollar. You know why? Why?
Wiles. Wiles.
Print. So they print the dollar. The central bank prints dollar. Print. If you look it up, ChatGPT, how many dollars they print yearly? They print so many of them. You look at the debt dollars, there's so much of it. They keep printing it. And you know what's happening? Okay, I hate to print this to you, coconut heads. Your $100 in the bank in 5 years from now, yeah, it looks like $100. But you know what's happened? You go to the grocery store. You know what's gonna happen? It costs so much. It devalued your dollar. I hate to say it. Whatever, everything is expensive. You won't see it when you have the $100, but you will see when you go pay for gas, eggs, grocery store, and we complain. We complain about why is everything expensive. You know why? Because the central bank and the government print our money. They make so many of them. When they devalue our purchasing buying power, it devalue our dollar. You feel me? So you need to put your money in something that appreciate, that it goes up in value. Okay, what is the elite doing? This is my question I said the last time. Okay, if they know the powerful people, they're printing money because obviously, let's say me and you, Kenny. Hey, Kenny, me and you are the most powerful people in the world. We have all the money. Well, you know what? Let's run the printer. Let's make money. Let's print as much as money. But you know what? We know how to play the game. You know what the game is, Kenny?
What is the game?
We reinvest. All the poor people, like us Samoan people and all the people, we go look for work and all that. You know what the rich people, the elite do, they take that money they print, you get their $1 million. You know what they do? They go buy more assets. They go buy more assets. They go buy more assets. What is an asset? S&P 500, like art, gold, and silver. That's the name of the game in this world. I hate to say it. And you know what they do? They borrow against it. Like, for example, you have a house. Those who own a house, you can borrow against your house. You can take that loan, buy a new house. That's investing. And gold, GLD, ETF. In the last few months, they appreciate skyrocketing. You know why? Because when they print the money, the gold goes up. So what do? You have a gold account, go ahead and margin, borrow against it. So Bitcoin, Bitcoin's outperforming. You can use Bitcoin and borrow against it. That's what I just did. I moved my Bitcoin to Coinbase and I borrowed against it. You know what? I use that loan. I buy more Bitcoin. So the name of the game is, according to Robert Kiyosaki, you buy assets, you get spending money. How do you get spending money? You go borrow against it. But if we save money in the cash, you know what? You're gonna lose value. Your $100 is not gonna worth anything in the next 5 to 10 years. Your $100 is gonna worth like 50% of that when you go shopping. So we gotta play the game. What's the game? Invest. So I know all of us, we like to buy new cars, clothes, and all that. Yeah, look good, but all that. Those are depreciating, you know, things. You want to invest, buy real estate. I don't have nothing against real estate. I'm a Bitcoiner. Buy Bitcoin. Buy gold. Buy like, S&P 500. They go up in value. And that would bring your savings going up. That's all I'm saying. That's what. But you can do whatever you want. I'm just sharing you some of the nuggets I learned, and that's what I'm doing right now. Are you with me, Goose? Does that make
Yes,
sense? And I'm just
that
educating,
makes
just related to finance. And the name of the game, if you don't believe me, go read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. He talks about it all the time. The name of the game is they don't teach all of us is like, yeah, you go get a job, get a degree. You know what? I respect all of our coconut heads, yeah, but doctor degree and all that. But you know what? If you don't put that money and buy assets, we're gonna be poor. Yeah, we can make money in like 100,000, 200,000. But you invest for your kids, you'll be wealthy. Buy S&P 500. It's like, keep it simple. Buy gold, S&P 500. You don't have to be a Bitcoiner like me, but buy real estate. Let it appreciate. And when you appreciate, turn against it. Take that loan and go
so.
buy something else. Mm-mm.
So what you're saying is, what you're saying is, I'm gonna help you out. Like I said, I was playing devil advocate. I American dollars ain't worth anything no more
Yes, that's it. Everybody knows that.
because it's like so like you were saying, like the printing, the U.S. government print money. Back in 2020 alone, America printed $3 trillion. That's not stimulus. That's economic steroids.
Yes,
And here's the part that they don't tell us is
yeah,
when more money gets printed, your money becomes worth less.
yes,
How does that work? It's called inflation. It's
yes.
hidden in taxes.
Inflation. So what do we complain
Yeah,
about? What do we complain? Inflation? Why do we complain about
because
inflation?
everybody right now in
Exactly.
America is complaining about it
So
because they're not talking about the money directly.
yeah,
They're just quietly robbing us every time you buy groceries,
bingo.
pump in your gas, or try to take your family out for $100 dinner. That
Bingo.
doesn't stretch because you don't have no investment
So
back.
think about what you said. They're robbing us. Your hard-earned money. So what do you
And
do?
then you also
What do you
you
do?
also talked about gold, right? Because the
Yes,
dollar is built on confidence,
yes,
but it's not built on gold. So ever since we left the gold standards back in the 70s,
Yes.
the dollars hasn't been backed. It hasn't been backed by anything real.
Yes.
It's literally paper with a promise. So you should ask ourselves, you should ask you, coconuts,
Coconuts.
what happens when the world stops believing in that promises?
Yes.
What happens when we do?
Why use,
So
man?
countries are, yeah, you're right, bro. I mean, you know, it's also added to, you have countries like China, Russia, Brazil. They're ditching us American dollars for trade deals.
Yes. That's for
You
right
think,
now. That's for right now,
and it's
okay?
not random.
It's not random.
It's not
They're
random.
all tied to the
No,
dollar. They're all tied to the dollar. Dollar is the most powerful currency right now. But they're starting to go away from the dollar because of that.
the country is losing trust in the system that we once had and built.
Yes.
That's a slow moving collapse that's happening with
Right.
the dollar globally, and you see that in Asia.
Yeah. And that's what we can share what the truth is to our corner heads is invest. Invest. Buy gold. I'm a Bitcoiner. Buy property and let it appreciate. Or buy gold or buy S&P 500. It's so easy. Just start an account, buy SPY, or you can buy gold. GLD. That's a great ETF. They appreciate. And you know what? You can liquidate it anytime. Like, for example, we have Falabella. In a year from now, my gold ETF appreciate. I just go and liquidate it, take that money back, and pay for the Falabella. So all I'm saying is, if you leave your money in the bank just sitting there, it's devaluing. It's losing value unless you put it in somewhere that appreciates. And the reason why I preach Bitcoin because it's the best performing asset. They outperform gold, S&P 500, and real estate. And many people, like my brother is a real estate person. I don't see any sense. No real estate people get mad at me. Like I rather put all my money in Bitcoin because it appreciate better. Then I will borrow that money. I'll go rent a place. But that's just me.
A lot of businesses are no longer. Ever since the wave of Amazon.com, where you're shopping online, that put a hinder on a lot of real estate because now you ain't got to buy no more properties to sell products. Or that's real estate game is more into, like, if you're a person that has real estate, you're best off buying properties where you can build factories and warehouses because that's where companies and corporations are going towards
Yes.
versus buying properties for apartments. I mean, those are probably the only beneficial thing nowadays is buying big, high towers and making those into apartment complex. And also, like I said, warehouses, because now a lot of us in America are not even driving to grocery stores and we're getting stuff ordered now.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's the trend now. Groceries, whoever thought that you can actually order groceries, bro? Like
Yeah.
that's
And,
something new.
right. So everything is changing. So I'm just sharing, you know, knowledge to our coconut heads related to that, how to make your capital or assets to appreciate at the same time. The last time we talked about it was ETFs. If you want to replace your income, buy high yield ETFs like what we talked about. Mistake. But those are income, not Bitcoin and on S&P 500 that appreciate. Those are a paycheck.
I like how you painted the picture of, like, there's different things of how you invest in these stuff. Like, if you're somebody that's trying to make money right now, then ETF is the way to go. If
Yes.
you're somebody that wants to invest and save money and then pull out within maybe 5 years or not, then Bitcoin is the way to go. And if you're somebody that, or S&P 500,
Yes.
stuff like that.
That's
Why
right.
don't you break that down to us? Share with us that one, bro.
Yeah. And that's it. So there's different way how to go about it. If you want something to replace your paycheck, ETFs. High income, high income like ETFs. I mean, I share with you like high yield, or my favorite one is TEPQ. They appreciate those are the ones that replace your paycheck. But if you want something for the future that appreciate and will beat your income, go for S&P 500, gold, and Bitcoin. Bitcoin outperforms all of them. But if you want to save traditionally, S&P 500, SPY or VOO, that's fine. Just buy it every week, dollar cost average, or every month. And in 5 to 10 years, it will outperform your income, outperform the ETFs, outperform ourselves. That's the bottom line. And it will beat the inflation. Like you read, inflation, right? We complain, why are things so expensive? You know what? Put your money savings in that and it will go on. And you can pull it up in the future. Pull it out in the future. So that's all I'm saying.
Just to close it out, let's stop lying to ourselves, people. Saving money the old ways is no longer smart. It's outdated. It's like your grandma's advice it worked back then. We are not in a 1965 anymore, people. We're in a world where inflation, digital assets, global markets, and 24/7 economic shifts the same. Put it in a savings account and let it grow mindset. That'll keep you broke.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let's do the math. Averaging savings account interest is 0.5% to 1%. Average inflation rate right now is about 3 to 6%. So
Mhm.
that means your money is shrinking just by sitting in a bank. It's like pouring a glass of water into a bucket with holes. Your savings, but your buying power is disappearing. So, with that said, they told you that saving equals security. That's a false hope. In today's world, cash is not king, cash flow is. What's smart today is multiplying money, not just guarding it. Old school saying, stack it, wait. New school wealth says, invest and grow. You could save 20K over 10 years or invest it and possibly double or triple it right away. Jay Beard is doing that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I always tell my listeners, it's like, and people that subscribe and also, that I'm able to advise, how did you get the Uce Podcast up and flowing, this engine running for the past year and a half now? Get involved with AI. Everybody's talking about the auto rich, all these successful corporations are partnering up with AI. If you're somebody that's not in tune with AI and you're still in the doubts,
Right.
you're going to be left behind and you're
Yes.
going to be broke.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. And just to close it out, like I was showing you earlier, those who like to talk to us like face to face and privately, let us know. We'll probably charge for a fee based on your Penny Wafanua or why use at the same time. I trade options. And for those who want to learn about advanced trading, that's what I do for a living. So please let Kenny know and we can set something up. We're there to finance. But
Yeah,
I'm
man.
a
Get on the train right now. Get on the train right now, listeners, because, as we've been on this and we're going to continue to go with you or without you. Probably be the smart to invest with the wild man. Thank you for your time, Uso, for getting on, JB. It's been a while.
yes,
Fully
sir.
informative conversation from religion to investment. It's amazing how that thing all aligns up, yo. That there's a
Right.
reason. It comes with belief. Because one thing you do have to believe. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, whether it's investing, whether it's working, whether it's doing chasing your dream, your happiness, you're never gonna get far. You're gonna be
Exactly.
unhappy. You're gonna be buried 6 feet below without nothing. So
Absolutely.
that's what I got, man. You got anything else before we end this live, bro?
No, I know. I didn't realize we talked for almost 2 hours for philosophy, religion, all that, and now to finance. But hey, you know what? I just want to share, like like I said, to share free content to our YUs and help our YUs to get ahead, in this system. And that's how it is. Just try to help.
There you go, man. Yeah. And to end our live episode tonight or today, I always want to leave you guys with a motivational pose. And that's from Queen, man. If you find yourself stuck in this world, confused, heartbroken, tune into the YOs. We'll help make your day bright or brighten up your day. Yes, sir. I'm Kenny Mofanua.
Let's go.
Tales of the hustle, dreams come alive. Building the future, watch them strive. Why use? Tune in and vibe the drive.